What's going on? Welcome back. What's going on? Ladies and gentlemen of Prestige, good to see you. Welcome back. All right, this is Ola coming to you live from my Empire Pro Studios. Let's talk really quickly, right? Welcome back. We've got a news to, it's not exactly a news, some lessons to cover today. I stumbled across some stories about somewhat old of a story about Mercy Johnson, and I decided that I think there's some lessons for 3 different categories of people here, and we're going to dive in through that. Okay, we do have a second story that we'll cover as well. Okay, so shout out to you. Welcome back. As you're coming in, do me a favor, hit that like button. Let's let everyone know we're hanging out here. By the way, if you do see us go live at around 5 p.m., it's probably a rebroadcast. Just take note of that. What's going on, Angel? Good to see you, Angel. Yes, Bhagavad, you made it today. And I saw your comment earlier. Thank you so much for always supporting. All right. So do me a favor, hit that like button, share, and subscribe if you're brand new here. Today we're going to talk about another fine ass actress. Mercy Johnson. I love Mercy Johnson. Not particularly her acting, but her, right? That's a fine woman that she is, right? But yes, we're gonna talk a little bit about her story today. All right. So without any further ado, let's get to it because we don't have that much time. It's late night. It's late night with Ola, like somebody said earlier. Let's just get to it. Let's go. All right, let's get to the sponsor really quickly. All right, welcome back. Shout out to you again. If you're just stopping by, you just came in, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, share if you haven't subscribed yet. Okay, today we're talking about Mercy Johnson. Particularly, we're talking about divorce. She's not divorced, no. All right, but we're talking about Mercy Johnson. We're talking about divorce. We're talking about remarriage. And we're talking about single parenthood all in one. Okay. She's somewhat in one way or the other involved in all 3 of this. And I want to talk about it. Okay. Because I think there are some lessons here, as usual, that we can talk about. Okay. So first thing first, there's some news out there about the person she's married to, right? Okoje, the guy Okoje, right? And I want to get through some of that, right? Mercy Johnson has what, like 3 or 4 babies with this guy now. They got married. Well, first of all, who is Mercy Johnson? Okay, Mercy Johnson is she's an actress in the Nollywood Nigerian movie industry. You'll be like, you're always talking about this Nollywood movie industry people. What, they're celebrities, I'll talk about the celebrities. The story is out there, and there are lessons in those stories for us because they are influencers. People watch them and they turn their story, they normalize it and act like it's normal, right? Now, she seems to be happily married right now, and I hope it stays that way. I wish her the best. I hope it stays that way for the rest of their lives, right? But there's more to the story. There's more to the story as far as we're concerned that I feel like we can learn from. Particularly the fact that the husband was a divorcee who remarried to her, right? But also he left another woman with 2 kids, okay, to get married to Mercy Johnson. That's what the story says, okay? So I'm going to share my screen right now. Let me just see. Let me make sure we get the right. I'm going to share my story so you can have some pictures. I'm going to pull up some pictures from Google to illustrate. Is that illustrate? At least so you can put some face to what we're talking about, right? Now you can see Mercy Johnson's picture right there. That's her on the screen already on the thumbnail, right? And again, I wish her the best. I wish her, but there's some things I wanted to point out here. And if she ever stumble into this video, she will also get some lessons from this, okay? Marriage is a very delicate thing, but it gets even more complicated when you remarry, right? We also have some studies that show that second and third marriages only have about a 25% chances that it will survive, okay? Your first marriage, as we know, especially in the Western world, has a 50% chance that it will survive, okay? But second, third marriage has around about 23 to 25% chance. That means about 75% of second and third marriages end up in shambles, okay? The first thing you can think about there is the fact that most of them don't do the necessary work. Okay, they don't go through proper healing before they jump into something else. Okay, so let's put some face to this. This is allegedly the estranged wife of Mercy Johnson's husband, yet to recover from heartbreak. So there's a video I stumbled into. Apparently he's been accused of not taking care of his children. The children are much more older than this now, but that's how right there, right? And there's this I don't know if it's a thumbnail or something like that. I haven't seen a quote anywhere directly saying she snatched someone's husband, right? But it's implied, I guess, right? That's the guy right there with his babies from before, right? On the top corner, left-hand corner of this picture. And that's the ex-wife. But the picture below that is Mercy Johnson with her new husband and their 4 children. They got 4 children right now, right? All right, so I'm just giving you a picture of what's going on. So that's them happily married ever after. But he has 2 stepchildren. Well, he has 2 children from his previous marriage, right? And that's him right there, his old school picture with his ex-wife, right? So there's nothing wrong with remarrying, not to me. I think the scriptures in certain places discourages the idea that a woman can remarry ever again. But I don't care about that stuff, honestly. I'm just being honest with you. I really don't, okay? The reality is that if someone gets divorced and they end up meeting a new person that they like, they can marry, okay? You don't have to allow them to marry. They will marry if they fall in love again. That's just the reality, okay? So I know the scripture says what it says. I get that, okay? Now, what are we talking about today? What we're talking about is the fact that this guy, there's a story I came across, okay? And that story said something to the effect that he actually got divorced only because he met. He was separated. Apparently, he was separated before, right? But he wasn't really filing the divorce or anything like that until he found Mercy Johnson. Again, I don't really see anything wrong with that. Sometimes, you haven't met a new person. A part of you is hoping maybe you can work on the marriage. Maybe you're a little confused. Maybe you're young enough to be confused. And you're like, And then the next thing you meet a fine woman like Mercy Johnson, and you're like, wait, we've been separated for an umpteen number of years anyway, right? And then you decide to file for divorce. So he pulled off a divorce really quickly, apparently a few days before he was doing a court wedding or something like that with Mercy Johnson, and they got married. And they've been married since then. It's been 11 years or something like that. So they are actually doing a good job. All right, at least based off of the little we know, right? Maintaining their marriage. But let me show you something really quickly. Let me see if I can find it really quickly. And then we'll read through it together because I want to make sure that I'm not talking out of my ass here, right? Yeah, I should make sure of that, don't you think? All right. I think I found it. All right. So we got this little story here. Let's see. All right. I'm going to read it to you. I'll just show you like this. Here you go. So we got this little story like this. It says, okay, so this is an old story, by the way. It's from like about a year ago. Okay. That's Mercy Johnson right there. Oh, by the way, she puts on a lot of makeup. I get it, right? She doesn't look exactly like this without makeup. But to me, she's still a fine woman with or without makeup. But anyway, one Rita Egu has taken, this is according to the eguonline.com. Let me blow this up small so you can see. Maybe small, right? One Rita Egu has taken to social media with a series of pictures showing Mercy Johnson's husband, Prince Odi Okogie, with his ex-wife and their children. Egu noted that the actress' husband, Prince Odi Okogie, simply remarried and started building a new family. There's no crime in that. I'm not sure why Miss Egu is saying that like that's some kind of criminal behavior, but maybe let's wait and see. She also stated that Prince Odi may not be taken care, may not, what? May is not a factual word element, right? What is that, right? May not be taking care of his children with the ex-wife. Oh, some kind of assumptions here, right? But I'll tell you what I'm trying to pull out of this in a second, okay? Not a second, I don't want to lie. I mean, a second. Egu wrote, this was in 2011, but seriously, what really is this? Like no divorce? You just remarry and start building a new family? It must hurt really badly to see your husband building a new family while perhaps neglecting his older children. Again, perhaps. That means the same thing as maybe not, may not be, right? This looks like a made-up story to me, but let's keep going. I can never understand this, but I'm lost for words. In a different post, Egu disclosed that she found the social media page of Prince Odi's ex-wife. People can have ex-wives and ex-family, right? But nonetheless, either he's guilty or not, there's some things I want to point out to you, okay? And saw grown-up photos of the woman and her kids. Okay, so they're growing up. Egu heaped accolades on her for doing a good job with nurturing the children. Okay. You don't know these people, but you're just gonna assume. But let's continue. While also offering some words of prayers for her. Okay, she continued by dishing out words of advice to fellow women who have ex-husbands. She advised that women should ensure that even after separation, the man takes full responsibility for his children. There's a lot of assumptions here, but let's keep going. Okay, I guess that's it, right? All right, so give me 1 second. There's another one. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah. Okay. All right, so let me check this out. Let's check this one out, right? Let's check this one right here out. Meanwhile, legit.ng previously reported that a Nigerian lady, Nancy Chidera, who dragged Mercy Johnson Okoje, this is according to Legit, right? Online, came back to withdraw her hurtful words. Oh. The lady who verbally attacked Mercy over an issue involving her daughter's school explained that she was misinformed while seeking the film star's forgiveness. It sounds like someone chasing clout. Nancy's apology video stirred mixed reactions from members of the online community. Okay, all right, so that's another one. Hold on 1 second. I think there's a particular one where if I can't find it, that's fine. We're gonna extract the lessons in a second here. Yeah. Let's see. Okay, let's see. I think maybe it's the wheel. So again, these are all old news from about 1 year ago. Okay, but the lessons are evergreen, right? Evergreen. So let's look at this one right here. This is on thewheelnigeria.com. This was posted November 7th. That's got to be last year because we're not yet November 7th this year. It says Nollywood actress Mercy Johnson, Ini Edo, Noelia, blah, 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 share a lot in common. Is Ini Edo married? Well, she was married at one point, right? Okay. Beyond being seasoned actresses who have paid their dues, they are also married to men whose marital lives were shrouded in controversy. The fact that somebody has an ex-wife is not exactly controversy until you make it one. But I guess the social media has made it one now. Although Mercy and Lizzie are enjoying marital bliss now, they both had to fight through thick and thin to bask in the euphoria of the happiness they are experiencing today. The same cannot be said of Ini and Noella, both of who had to return to the singles club as quickly as they left it. Mercy's marriage to her husband, Prince Okoje, was enmeshed in a lot of fuss right from the time their engagement was announced in 2011. Okoje's estranged wife, Loveline, accused the actress of snatching her husband. If you're separated at the time that your husband is remarrying somebody else, that's not snatching. Okay? It's just not. Okay? And then on top of that, you can't really snatch a person who doesn't want to be snatched. Right? So ladies, women supporting women. And the father of her two children, Precious and Harmony, she tagged the actress a homebreaker and made frantic efforts to stop their wedding. Oh, you're trying to stop the wedding of a person that already left you. That's a bad idea. I say that to men all the time here, right? You can't negotiate desire. If they want to move on, your best chances of attracting that person back into your world, if they belong there, is to let them go. You have to let it go. It's hard, but that's exactly what you need to do. However, Prince was able to secure a divorce. This is the part I was looking for. He was able to secure a divorce proceeding at wherever this is, Igbuben area, customary court in Edo State, 72 hours before his wedding to Mercy. 72 hours. He secured a divorce. Now, this is a dangerous one right here, okay? This is a man that wasn't even properly divorced before he jumped into something else. But again, he's managed to go through 11 years so far. So maybe he's doing something right for the first time ever, right? Remember I told you the numbers, second and third marriages, 75% divorce. That's what the studies show. But of course, there's always that 25%. It says 25% of people are a lot of people that are figuring it out, right? So maybe he did the work. Maybe he figured something out, right? Although he was separated from Loveline before his wedding to Mercy, that to me can be good enough. Okay, so it just all depends on is it legally he only filed divorce legally 72 hours before, but was he doing the work before that? You know, a lot of times people will do the work behind the scenes, and you know, the rest of the stuff you can see publicly is just paperwork. Okay, and there are a lot of people that are separated for years before they actually file divorce, because especially men, right? So he only started divorce proceedings after his engagement with Mercy had been announced. I don't really see anything wrong with that. You know, I guess it depends on your moral standards or compass. But as long as you don't get married, as long as you don't commit bigamy, right? That's what they call it, right? As long as you're not married to two people at the same time, right? By the way, there's a lot of people that have done that, because it's like two different countries. They marry somebody in Nigeria, and then they marry somebody else in Yankee, and at the same time, and you know, people do all kind of crazy stuff out there, right? And a 4-day wedding extravaganza declared. The wedding eventually held amidst tight security, anxiety over the shape the much talked about ceremony would take because of the controversies surrounding it. Okay, they've been doing it for 11 years right now. Like Mercy, Iniedo's marriage to Philip was faced with bitter tales as well. Her husband's ex-wife, Ruth Okoro, made a public accusation against the two before they got married. She sent several messages to the actress on MySpace. Jesus Christ, MySpace, an American social networking site under disguise. She accused the actress of snatching her husband and also made efforts to tarnish Philip's image. Yeah, that marriage did not last more than 2 months or so. She went as far as lying that he was under investigation by the FBI and that he was being hunted by them. However, Philip denied the allegations and proceeded with the wedding ceremony, but their union couldn't stand the test of time. This is the part I'm trying to extract. For those of you that are separated and you're trying to move on, this lesson is about you. Okay? And especially if you have one of the parties involved that has to be a single parent. It's a very tricky situation. That's what I want to talk about. As they packed up 5 years. Okay, so it's not 2 months, 5 years. Sorry, 5 years. It's a long time ago, right? It packed up 5 years later over allegations of infidelity on the part of Ini. Really? Interesting. Okay, Philip gave marriage a third chance a few months ago. As for Lizzie Anjorin Lawal, that's another actress, a Yoruba actress. She got married to her lover of 14 years, Lawal Adegboyega, in 2020. Not long after their marriage, one of her husband's exes, Fola Tinubu, accused him of abandonment. A lot of abandonment is going on. have found. She also accused Liz Anjorin of snatching her husband and making him forget his 4 other wives and children. Okay, so no one can make a person forget their children. I've seen this now a few times since we started reading this. No one can make a person forget the children they love. If a man forgets his children, he forgot his children. He's just not a disciplined man. That's all. Some people may say, okay, maybe it's the wife that made him not really. Okay, not really. Okay. At the very minimum, it's not a man enough to say, listen, I got children and I want to take care of my children. Okay. I love you, but I got to take care of my children. Right. At the very minimum. Right. So now, nonetheless, this is the other lesson. When there's 2 households like that, right? Even if you did it the right way, as a fact of life, your newly wedded marriage, blah, 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 that you guys are now in love will be accused of not taking care of the children in the other household. It's just a reality. Okay? There will be drama. You can ask Two-Face and Annie Idibia. Okay? When you have 2 households, there's no way to avoid it. You have 2 women involved. One of them is single. Your ex, it's just what it is. It's going to happen. It's going to be rough. So you're going to need a very strong core because you'll be shit tested left and right by both of them. The wife in your house and the one that you left that's not a single mother. It's just a reality. So you will need a very strong core. Now you that you're now married to somebody that used to be married, both you and your husband will be accused of not taking care. It's just a reality. It's just never going to be enough. When you're not in the same household with your children, it's not going to be enough. At least initially. So that's something you want to mitigate. Because when you overreact to those kind of accusations, it will make matters worse. Okay? That's what will happen. It will make matters worse. Lawa denied. Let's not worry about this Lisa and Jory stuff. Let's focus on Mercy Johnson. So here's the lesson. Here's the lesson that I have for you, because I have one other video I want to cover before we go to bed tonight. Okay? Bhagavad, even with her barefaced mad woman's sins, she's still fine. Thank you. I didn't know you realized it. Me too. I feel that same way. Thank you. If they forget children, they choose to forget. Yes, that's a fact. If they forgot their children, it's not the new wife that made them forget their children. If your ex-husband is separated for a while, he decides to move on, now he decides to file for divorce, he has the right to do that. And you're not helping matters by trying to stop it. The only thing you're going to end up doing is dragging yourself through the mud, through the streets of the social media. All right? People may even empathize with you. Like in this case, it's looking like people are empathizing with the ex-wife. Ladies are probably empathizing with her, like they feel for her because she took care of her children by herself. The husband left her, blah, 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 blah. Bottom line is that relationship did not work out. Okay? And she needed to move on. He pulled the divorce. You need to move on. Husband snatcher bitibawo gojo. Stop the cap. She's not a husband snatcher based off of the little details we just saw. But I also wanted to talk to someone like Mercy Johnson, right? Again, when your husband leaves a person with children, your union will be accused of not taking care of those children as a default. In addition to that, it is true that you're not able to take care of those children as much as you could if you were living with the children, right? It's just, that's one of the downsides of divorce. Once you're not in the same household, if the father is not there, the father figure will be missing in those babies' life. If the mother is not there, which is usually unlikely, usually the mother gets the custody, right? those babies are going to be missing a mother figure in their life, and that it doesn't matter if it's a boy or girl. They need to see their mother being a mother in the household. Okay, and the downside of that is not good. It doesn't mean you should hold yourself hostage. It just means something you should be aware of, that you need to mitigate the risk of that on your children. You can ask Percy Miller, Master P, right? I think the wife was not really in the wife, the ex-wife. I think it's ex-wife now. The mother of Romeo Miller was not in their life for the longest because she's an addict or something like that. She's in and out of facilities, right? That affects the children for a long time. When there's not, because the way our society is set up, it's better for the children to be in a two-parent household. Now, circumstances happen, but you still need to be aware that that's a risk you need to mitigate. You need to find a way to make sure that there's father figure. You try your best, you do your best. Your best is probably going to be more than enough. What's going to be bad is when you're just going to cap and say it doesn't matter. It does matter. Okay? It does matter. Find a good uncle, a good fatherly figure, a grandfather, a motherly figure, like somebody that can also be around, right? Especially when it comes to fathers in the household, right? So now, in this case, Prince Okoje would have needed to put in some extra effort to make sure that even if everyone is spreading those default bad news, that he's not taking care of his children, he needs to make sure that he's also in the life of those children as much as possible, physically, mentally, morally, spiritually, But it's going to be hard because you're just you're not in the house with the children. Okay. Hey, Just Jay, good to see you. Good to see you. So if it's divorce, right? You're the divorced. It's just nasty. Okay, it gets nasty. It doesn't matter how much you try to. There's a reason why you're divorcing. It's gonna get nasty, right? Remarriage. If you're remarrying, try to make sure you go into your situation with as much as possible clean slate. Okay, but also be aware that you left a life. You left children. If you left a single parent with your children, you have to put in extra effort. The other side of things is jealousy. You see, you need to be friends. You need to be friends with your ex as much as you can. And you need to exercise a lot of humility. Because there are going to be moments that you don't feel like, taking the high road, right? But you need to, okay? For the greater good, right? Short term, you're going to feel like shit sometimes. It's just what it is. Okay? But it's difficult. Maintaining a two household as a man is difficult. If you're in the public eye, you will be accused. It's just what it is. Don't respond. Don't worry about it. Keep it going. If you keep it going, you will last 11 years like Prince Okoje. So he's clearly doing a good job with regards to that. If it's true that he's not taking care of his children, you know exactly he needs to take care of his children. But again, I don't think that's ever going to be enough, especially if you have a woman who went out there and started accusing a stranger of being a husband snatcher when in fact the husband was separated, right? She's probably not too happy with him, and she's probably going to continue to put out that kind of rhetorics, even if it's not true. The best thing to do is to not respond to it. Do your best with your children, right? But it's going to happen. It's going to happen. If you are in this situation, it's a very, very difficult situation, But it's easier said than done, but it's doable, right? The key thing is to not make it about yourself, because it's probably not about you. It's about whoever is the perpetrator, right? Whoever is angry, They're caught up in their emotions. It's probably not about you. All right, but then it's about you because you're involved with them. So again, I was talking about jealousy, right? Jealousy is going to happen. One person doesn't feel like he should be engaged. One person doesn't really trust that you're not still with your ex. If you're spending way too much time with your ex, ask Two-Face. Ask Two Baba. If you're spending too much time with your children, who is with a single parent, it's not fun. It's not fun, right? It's very, 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 very difficult. It's a very difficult situation. Because now your wife is jealous, even though she's really trying her best. That's why I like to cut Annie some slacks. It's very difficult, especially if that single parent is on the other side of the ocean, and now I'm traveling, I'm going to America to go spend time with my children. Where? In the guest room. Like, she's supposed to believe that that's just the guest room, that nobody sneaks into the guest room at night. You know that thing when people say once debe, always debe, the Okafor law, right? The Okafor law is real in a lot of ways. So this is when boundaries may be necessary, right? Some kind of boundaries. But why are you setting boundaries? Because you don't trust? Is boundaries going to be enough for you to trust finally? Or the other person is still going to feel like they have to look over their shoulder every time? They feel like they could never do anything enough for you to trust them. It's very, very difficult. These are some of the things you should pay attention to that you just may not know before you pull that plug on your marriage. Just in case there's a chance you could work on it. Just in case. Sometimes you can't work on it. It's just that bad. Okay? But I am convinced that way too many people are exiting their marriage too early. Probably because it's much more conducive in this time and era to just leave, right? But I'm very careful saying that because I don't want people to feel like they have to stay in a situation that's not good for them. But it's something to be aware of. If there's a chance that maybe we could work on it and maintain one household for our children, the last resort should always be divorce. Okay? If there is abuse, it's always the first resort. If anyone feels abuse said, they need to leave first and figure everything else out later, right? If not y'all, not he for the open mouth, they defend himself. Right, exactly. So if we're gonna give any kind of thank you for saying that, because a big shout out to this guy, Prince Okoje, right? Because he clearly knows how to maintain his cool in spite of all the news. And he seems like a man that's like a man that's well secured in himself. He's comfortable in his skin. Because again, when you're married to an actress, I think recently she said she couldn't act like love nudity scenes anymore because she clearly respects this guy. You want to be married to a person who would basically choose to respect you and choose like, okay, I don't want to do that part of the business anymore. Learn how to shut the fuck up sometimes. It's not everything you have to respond to. Learn how to stay on your throne and be the king that you are. If there's issues to be addressed, you can address it without leaving your throne as a king. And this guy, on the surface at least, looks like he's exercising that. It takes a lot of self-restraint, emotional self-control to see a lot of negative things about yourself and not respond. Ask Daddy Freeze. Okay? It takes a lot. It takes a lot of energy, right? Now, for some people, it may be easier than some others, right? But it's important to acknowledge that. It's important to point this out just in case you need to learn that. Gentleman of Prestige. Maybe you need to learn that. Maybe you overreact. Maybe, you're like coconut head. Touch. Like anytime somebody says something, you're ready to react. Because you just can't afford that somebody will disrespect you. You have to check it immediately, right? Check it right away, right? If you're that person, there's no better way to say that you lack power. And especially you lack the how power works. If you have to do that, you don't have any respect. You're probably going to showcase more lack of self-respect, and people will always mimic your level of self-respect. All right, we're doing well with this week that we're on break, right? We're doing well, right? It's not too badly, right? Shout out to all 22 of you watching me right now. I know it's late night. You're on the bed. You're probably listening on the side with one earpiece, just to make sure you catch it live. I appreciate you. All right. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. I got this video right here. Hopefully this video doesn't get this video if you get it flagged, I will delete everything and we'll get it back up, okay? So let's talk about it regardless, because again, the lames are getting silenced and they're still surprised why they're getting silenced. If you lack power, you lack power. You don't know how to navigate, you will get silenced. It's as simple as that, okay? And the more of them we have, the more they're going to be silenced. This environment we're in is not conducive for people that lack social skills. It's just not good enough. Okay?
Need them and do it yourself. How, Sway?
If you don't know how to talk, it's not conducive. It's not good. Okay? I want to give two examples. I'm going to try to give one example right now, and then I'll give the second one if we have a little bit of time. Okay? So let me go ahead and let Auntie Mercy Johnson go and rest small. Let's move on to this part. Let's watch this video. Okay?
Times online. He's built an enormous following, and mostly young men, and his often scandalous views about women that have made him notorious across the world. Views like this.
So I think my sister is her husband's property, yes. When a bride is walking down the aisle to marry the groom, the father walks next to her and gives her away. True or false?
Tate's opinions on mental illness are equally controversial.
All right, so we're talking about Andrew Tate, right? I think I covered him twice or three times. You know, he said some things. You know, people like them always have more than enough truth to wrap up their lame ass in. Right? They have more than enough. They're speaking quote unquote factual stuff, right? Stuff that's obvious, right? It's not exactly factual, they're just obvious. They're stupidly obvious. What you said, okay, I'm using my phone to watch you right now. Okay, that's stupidly obvious. So tell me that's not true. Tell me that it's stupidly obvious. Okay, yeah, so it's not exactly fact, okay? It's obvious. You're not making any special, profound point when you're pointing out something that's obvious, just to be lame in the public eyes, okay? When a man is taking his child down the aisle to go give it to another person, is that not his property? No, you sound stupid. Literally. Like, now, this part is literal, okay? You sound stupid when you say stuff like that to prove that a woman can be a man's property. Now, I didn't say that. You're going to get silenced if you say enough of these kind of things. That's an indication that you were probably sounding stupid. Now, he's admitted that maybe he was sounding stupid. He wants to reshape what he's saying. But we still have some lames running around the internet trying to justify how this young man was talking. Let me play a little bit of it and let's see how Pierre Morgan. So he went on Pierre Morgan's Uncensored and he had a few things to say. He's still trying to justify. I think the first video he recorded once he got cancelled on YouTube, meaning they shut down his platform. They shut down another lame ass young kid a few days ago, Sneeko, right? The first thing he tried to do is like, okay, maybe I should change my words. And now he's going back on his words again. Lames, they're never sure of where they stand. They're never sure. Because in the first place, they have this need of validation. So they push out a lot of extreme polarized views, right? Just to get clout. They do it a lot. And when they get this attention, because it's extreme polarized views, right? It gets in their head because it's like drug. Like it pumps dopamine to their blood, right? And then now they just start to feel like I'm saying something, right? And then it's all about money for them until they get shut down. If you're getting silenced, maybe you didn't have any power in the first place. Let's keep going.
I don't believe in depression. Don't message me about depression because I don't believe in it. If you're asleep and you're...
He doesn't believe in depression. Now, he put out some videos where he was basically, it's like confusing. Is it, he's trying to encourage people to, to get up and don't be depressed. But then in the same breath is discounting the importance of understanding mental health as a thing. So it's a little confusing, right? This is what happens when people speak from their ass. What that means is that when they speak from common sense, or they speak to real life issues that people are dealing with common sense, it fails all the time. Why? Because everyone has common sense. So what makes you think there's anything profound when you speak out of common sense? Everyone else can think common sense. 1 + 1 = 2. That's common sense. If it was that easy, everyone else would be getting it. Right?
Bed in the middle of the night and you hear a noise and you believe in ghosts. Now you're afraid. But if you don't believe in ghosts, it's the wind and you go back to sleep. You give the ghosts power by believing in them.
Well, this summer, every major social media platform banned Tate amid a global backlash and concerns about his influence on the young people who watch him. But copies of his videos are still shared millions of times every day.
So there's a lot of his clips, videos. One of the things they claimed is that it was taken out of context. That's a real thing. You can be taken out of context. But there's some things you say, I'm like, nah, this is not out of context. This is who you are. You're lame and stupid. If you call women properties in 2022 and you somehow don't expect a backlash, it's even worse. The fact that you don't expect a backlash is even make things worse. How do I know you don't expect a backlash? Because you overreact to the fact that there's backlash. Like, why are you so surprised? I thought you knew that, oh, they don't want me to speak the truth, so they're going to silence me. Why are you so surprised that you got silenced when you say something stupid that diminishes other people? Other people. Right?
Okay. This show is called Uncensored. One of the challenges views directly. So he flew from Romania to sit here in this studio, and the full explosive interview airs later this week. Girls are more attractive than 25-year-olds. It's because they've been...
Watch this. Well,
it's not really, is it? Here's a bit of what's to come. Do you respect women?
Absolutely. Why wouldn't I?
Do you think that 18, 19-year-old women are more attractive than 25-year-old women?
I think there's attractive people. That's a loaded question. I don't know.
It's not that much of a loaded question. It's stuff you said. It's stuff he said to the whole world, and a bunch of lame-ass young kids. I'm calling them lame because I want them to wake up. I'm not shaming them, okay? Lame as in lack of game, right? A bunch of people are watching this. They're getting excited. They click like, right? About 18, not 18 people, 18,000 of them watching him at the same time on multiple different platforms, right? So he's getting excited. He's happy that he's getting to, and quote unquote, he's helping these young kids. Apparently, he's supposed to be helping them. He's speaking for them, right? And then he goes, 18 years olds are much more attractive than 25. A blanket ass stupid statement that doesn't make any sense, right? It just doesn't. There's way too many times that you put a 25 years old next to an 18 and you pick the 25, and vice versa. So you can't turn that statement to some kind of weird ass truth, right? That's not true in any shape, form. It's simply not true, right? 18 years old can't even clean themselves out of their own diapers. Why would I even find myself in a position where I have to be comparing them to 25 years old? But watch his response. He's pushing back on his words. He's not forgot that he said something. Watch what Pierre had to say about that.
Well, it's not really, is it?
I can't.
You know why I'm asking you?
Of course I do, but I can't sit here and
for
say.
the benefit of viewers who don't know why I'm asking, you said this. In general, this is also one of the reasons men find youth attractive. You want to blow up the internet? I'll blow up the internet right effing now. The reason 18 and 19-year-olds are more attractive than 25-year-olds is because they've been through less dick. People say... Oh.
That's what he said. You know, the internet never forgets. Listen, I'm probably going to say something stupid here the more I talk, right? I'm going to say something stupid. I'll get dragged one day, right? The more popular this platform gets, it's going to happen. How much more when you outrightly get out there and start saying something stupid intentionally? Like, what do you expect is going to happen? Right? So the fact that they don't know that they can say something stupid and it comes with backlash, including potentially getting shut down, is what I am talking about. You know? Let's keep going.
Oh, you can't say that, but yes, I can. A 19-year-old is more attractive than a 26-year-old woman, and I'll tell you why. Because
so they even told him you can't say that. He said, yes, I can. But yet I still see some lame people trying to defend this. He said what he said. Okay? So now he's going to get accused of being a misogynistic person. And then he's going to be surprised too. Then he's going to go into the dictionary and try to pull the dictionary meaning of misogynistic. I'm not a woman hater. You're a liar. No, I'm not. Like, are you? See the wine meanie, right? It's not about the facts of what is written in the dictionary, you dumbass. It's how you make people feel. That's the reality of life across the board, including how you make men feel. If you make men feel a certain type of way, they're not going to want to do business with you. It's the reality. The fact that you don't know that in the name of I'm just speaking the truth is lack of social skills, is a lame behavior.
that 26-year-old has talked to more guys, been to the club more times, been effed and dumped more times, more arguments, more mess, more for me to clean up. That is misogyny. Why?
To be fair, he grew way too fast to be calling women run-throughs. If you're calling women run-throughs on a public platform, you're going to get shut down if you're growing that fast. It's as simple as that. That's just how it works. Another thing that he doesn't realize is that there's some things you say, someone like me will listen to it, I'm like, he's catching cruise. There's a little young kid somewhere that's taking that to heart as gospel truth, and it's dangerous for the society. And it's even worse that you're going to pretend that that's not a real thing. Okay? They're all on the internet watching anything that's polarized enough to satisfy how they already feel. Right? It's just going to magnify something that's not really a big deal. You got dumped by a girlfriend, okay, we keep it moving. But now, Andrew Tate is going to sit on the internet and call women run through just because they are 25 years of age as opposed to being 18. Right? What do you think is going to happen when the wrong person interprets that? Right?
Because you are encouraging a mindset about 25-year-old women that makes them sound out to be infinitely less desirable than 18, 19-year-olds, and having effectively been having too much sex to be taken in a more respectful way.
And what's too much sex? 5 times in the last 1 year? 5 times by the age of 45 as a single woman? 1 time at the age of 16. What exactly is that? See, when you say things like that, you are giving room for the lamest of society to interpret the way they want to interpret and react the way they want to react. When you have a big platform, you have to be responsible. I got 16 people watching me live right now. I have to be responsible for what I say, including when I do mistakenly say something stupid. I have to say, I said it, that's not what I believe, or, oh, I didn't mean it that way, I'm sorry. I have to hold myself accountable. I don't have to, I am responsible. When you have a big platform where people listen to you, you don't have to hold yourself accountable. You are responsible. It's as simple as that. Don't get all surprised. Right?
Well, firstly, even if that was the case, that wouldn't be misogyny.
But what did you mean by what you said?
That's not misogyny because it's not anti-women.
Now it's going to, that's not anti-woman. Only anti-woman is misogyny. That's stupid. You're being stupid intentionally. Okay? You're being stupid. You don't have to be anti-woman before you are called misogynist. It's just not reality. You claim you want to face reality, but you don't like reality when you're presented with one. When you say certain things and makes a woman or human beings in general feels a certain way, you will be accused of things that may not exactly correlate with dictionary meaning. It's because you made them feel that way. That's the reality, not your dictionary meaning. It's just not. I'm sorry. Okay?
I'm saying that an 18 or a 19-year-old woman would be more desirable.
Pretty
by some men.
anti-25-year-old woman.
Anti-25-year-old women we can argue, but not misogynistic.
Well, that's misogyny.
So it's just semantics. Anti-25-year-old woman I can argue, right? Semantics is stupid, but I guess it's getting popular, so.
That's, no, it's not.
Well, being anti any woman at all is misogyny.
Not when I'm saying that women are beautiful and attractive at a certain age and saying the age.
You're
is
saying
different.
18, 19-year-olds are more attractive than 25.
Well, then ageist perhaps, but misogynistic absolutely.
Ageist, perhaps, as in racist. It's just being stupid.
Is that really? But you just accepted it was misogyny.
No, I didn't. You said it was misogyny. I'm telling you, no, it's not.
But if a 26-year-old woman is watching this and has heard those comments,
Yeah.
would you?
So I'm not going to play the rest of it, just in case, you know. Here's the news for you, okay? Here's the lesson, okay? Dictionary meanings when it comes to emotional matters, which is literally everything. Everything is emotional matter, okay? Everything is driven by emotions, okay? Dictionary meanings has limitations. Words matter only so far. If you make people feel some type of way, they're going to call you names that doesn't necessarily correlate with direct translation that you've done it. You're a criminal. No. That doesn't mean you've been jailed as a criminal, okay? It means you made them feel like you're a fraud. That's what it means. You made them feel like you're a fraud, right? So people can call you criminal if they feel offended by your fraudulent behavior. They don't have to wait until you end up in jail. I'm not a criminal. I'm not really in jail. Now you're being stupid. There's a reason why they called you a criminal. Yes, that's the danger of it. Most people don't know it's cruise. It's cruise. I receive it that way, but these guys mean it. They are actually lame. Okay, they have trouble. If you spell it out on paper for them what social skills and emotional intelligence is, they actually know what it is. In action, in reality, in real time, they have a hard time practicing it. And they refuse to do the work because they know so much. They're just going to sit down there and argue with you on semantics and never really get to what we need them to understand. If you're listening to me, if you're like that person, check yourself before you wreck yourself. The reality does not really give a shit about what you know from a textbook. The reality is that people respond to you silently, oftentimes, based off of how you make them feel. Sometimes they will take opportunities away from you and you will never know that that opportunity was taken away from you just because of how you made them feel. It's only some of the few times that they will let you know that, hey, you made me feel some type of way. You're a misogynist. Very few times. Most people will just look at you and say, this is Cruz. I can't even take him too seriously. And they also will take away their opportunities to work with you, including, but not limited to, silencing your ass for the rest of your life. You're lucky that you even know you're silenced. A lot of time, you're just shadow banned from individual people that can actually be a blessing to your life. Okay? I'm talking to individuals now, not content creators. Content creators are on a high horse. They probably don't want to listen to shit anyway. I'm talking to you as an individual. This translates to your individual life, the relationships you have around you. Don't put yourself on a pedestal. Always have people around you that can hold you accountable, right? Always, right? And understand that feelings, emotions rules everything. Everything. No, it's not facts over feelings. The facts are old recorded data. What created the data was people's emotions. So it's stupid to just put your eyes on recorded old data. It's lame. It's lame behavior, right? Yeah, so that's the lesson for today. We've got some really good stuff out of this. We're gonna leave it at that. Let's start at 6 at a time. Next week we'll try to come back full blown, heavy, right? I'm gonna try to do that next week. So let's look out for that, right? Nonetheless, we're going to run a rebroadcast at 5 p.m. tomorrow again. Okay, so I'll be in the chat hanging out. So feel free to come by at 5 p.m. I just won't be live, right? So feel free to come by and hang out as well, and share the videos and let people know that we're live right here. All right. Hopefully, you've been enlightened and educated. I will see you on the next one, and peace.